Just wanted to make sure I set the stage for you guys at the Mr. Olympia 2018. This is actually the 10th year I've been at the Mr. Olympia. First time I've been doing some video, so hopefully you guys enjoy some of the B-roll that I'm going to be having. It's very loud in here, so you guys will probably not be able to hear me very well, but hope you guys enjoy this. So just got back, 10th Mr. Olympia, and kind of crazy to think that it's been 10 years. Have had like a few different kind of phases in those 10 years. The first few years I was a college kid working for B Sports Nutrition, and it was just super exciting. One, because you're young and you're in Vegas and a lot of things you can get yourself into. But just overall, I mean, that was just kind of the green years, and I think everybody can agree when you're first kind of involved in a new industry, you're super excited to just be able to experience everything. The next couple of years I was kind of as a decision maker in certain brands. That was probably a different type of exciting. You got to see both from the inside of the trade show floor, also the outside of the trade show floor. That was when I kind of experienced what really made the industry tick, be it that at the Renaissance or kind of other meeting rooms, kind of some other hotels, kind of jumping around, meeting a lot of different people. That was when things kind of shifted for me from kind of fun to professional or business side of things. And then these last, half of those 10 years have been as a consultant, and that's been all about business. Though I have some fun when I'm out there, as the years go on, it becomes more and more just business for me, and something that I try to make sure that I can extract as much of the value possible in the shortest amount of time. This year felt a little bit different to me because, the 9 years or so prior, I had always been okay being kind of in the background of this kind of egotistical industry. And I say that in a smiling, happy way, because that is a love-hate thing for a lot of us in the industry. And I've kind of always used that as a way to hide myself behind a lot of the entrepreneurs that enjoy kind of being in the limelight. But as you guys know, and if you're watching this video, you obviously see that I'm kind of getting outside of my comfort zone, and I'm trying to kind of be a little bit more front-facing in this industry, just because I feel like I have just a lot of ideas or a lot of thoughts that either don't get a lot of publicity in this industry or are just kind of things that are just not talked about. But when I was walking the trade show floor, like kind of the first day, I had about an hour in between some meetings. I'm kind of self-aware. I understand, being at the trade show for, that's the 10th year, and being at just countless other trade shows, there's a few things that you can't hide. One is just kind of like attendance. And I don't know the exact numbers, but I can tell you that it felt like the attendance was down. And then the second one is just kind of like brand involvement or kind of like excitement from kind of the business perspective. And, I just felt like overall brand involvement was extremely down. You just didn't see a lot of names. You didn't see a lot of big names. And big names, you saw them do kind of smaller booths. Smaller brands, you saw them kind of skipping the show. You did see, obviously, a good majority of brands, but comparable to how kind of robust the trade show floor is in the last probably 2 or 3 years, it's definitely down. So, what's that mean? It could mean a lot of things. Though I made a video recently about kind of trade shows, I'm always kind of bearish on trade shows. I don't think that's where the industry's going. Industry's definitely going digital. So if you're not utilizing analog in a way to create an experience, you're basically just wasting kind of money. And I think maybe some brands maybe finally kind of clicked and figured that out. And you also kind of noticed that the main sponsor, Amazon, was not a main sponsor this year. That was a little bit different than the previous few years. And there's a few different kind of thoughts on why that happened. I guess my thought on that is quite honestly, Amazon knew exactly why they were coming into the industry and why they were kind of a title sponsor. One, they needed to get brand recognition to make sure that supplement buyers knew to go to Amazon to purchase, but kind of more overarching, they wanted relationships with some of the major kind of brands in our industry to partner with them to create some private labels. They also kind of wanted some manufacturing contacts and different things that they needed to kind of get into the industry to experience. They could have obviously sent some of their people just at the trade show, but the money that was kind of getting thrown around to be a title sponsor for the Mr. Olympia is not anything that Amazon needs to worry about at all. So that was a way for them to kind of shield some of their intentions a little bit to kind of outsiders or people that really didn't understand kind of the real reasons why they were getting involved with the Mr. Olympia show. Now, talking about just kind of like brands involvement being lower on the actual kind of trade show floor. Honestly, walking around, seeing different booths, you didn't see a lot of kind of innovative booths or kind of experiential type of things. You saw a lot of just very grand booths, very strobe light, sexy girls, big men. The prototypical type of stuff that you see at any other Mr. Olympia show. From a product innovation side, there wasn't a lot of product innovations. There were definitely some incremental type of innovations that I saw from some of the brands that I like. From my buddy Mark Samuel over at I1 Organics, he did a really good plant-based protein puff that tasted just like the real thing. It had really great flavors. The caramelized onion, I kind of tried them all, but the caramelized onion was amazing. And though that's not like some humongous innovation, it's definitely one that is incremental and incremental in a very good way. The same way, another one of my buddies, Mark Lobliner, his outright bar is incremental in terms of just kind of bars are very probably 3 to 5 years of lifespan. If you guys have been in the in the industry for a while, you've seen how they've changed every 3 to 5 years from this candy bar feel to this Quest bar putty type of a feel to now minimal ingredients and they took a little bit different approach than like an RX bar. Consistencies are a little bit different. They weren't using a fruit as a binder. They're using peanut butter. And then you saw like a Lenny and Larry's or even like a Protein Bites. Those two companies kind of changing the way that we consume like a functional food in the cookies, changing from a chewy type of a cookie where to more of like a Chips Ahoy type of a crunch cookie, which actually probably holds up the protein much better than chewy cookie. Again, you saw some different flavors, you saw some different formulas. Everybody's still kind of coming out with the strongest pre-workout, the best pre-workout, the best protein. That you see those things all over the board. But that's kind of where the industry is at right now. It's unfortunate that the super niche sports nutrition type of brands are kind of just stuck in a rut of similar kind of either incremental innovations or just kind of coming out with some type of extension of flavor or product. And one of the things that I would like to see like the Mr. Olympia show do is to quite honestly to change the weekend. They have recently been kind of settling on the same weekend as Expo East. And why I say this is like the industries or kind of like the subcultures within the world of kind of healthier for you, those things are kind of merging together. And I believe if you had the opportunity for some of the brands and vendors from that would normally be at Expo East, could kind of come over to Mr. Olympia and kind of do 2 within a month, you're going to see a lot more kind of innovation. One, because a lot of the brands in the sports nutrition world do not really venture off into the Expo East, Expo West, fancy food shows, any of those things. They're kind of stuck within their silo. And I think that if you give the opportunity for them to be blended together a little bit more, you'll see some innovations coming from more of the sports nutrition world. But overall, I mean, it was a great show for a lot of people. I saw a lot of old friends. I saw a lot of new faces. And I do want to appreciate anybody that did come up to me, especially the new faces that, came up and said thanks. It means the world to me to hear those types of things, because if you guys have ever tried to do something similar to what I'm doing, it takes a lot of time out of your day to not only put out like what I believe is really good content for you guys, some really strong deep dive content. I don't put a lot of fluff piece stuff out there. I just don't believe in those types of things. So these things do take some time. Learning programs and editing and all those types of things take a lot of time, especially for somebody that has an extremely busy kind of billable schedule as a consultant. It's hard to kind of throttle down and kind of learn some new skills that are a little bit outside of things that you're used to doing from a day-to-day perspective. So I just want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys have gotten this far, make sure you guys do hit the thumbs up. If you guys have not done this yet, make sure you guys are subscribing to my YouTube channel. And always, as a kind of a last ask, if you guys did get value out of this content, make sure you guys are telling a friend, tell a colleague. Want to grow this community a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. But just want to thank you guys again for taking a little bit of time out of your day to listen to me talk. And I'll see you guys in the next one.